All right, we're gonna talk about my favorite thing in the world, condo versus co-ops. It's the one question I get asked 400 times a week. And for this one, we're putting the coffee down. That's a rare occurrence. All right, let's start with what is a condominium. A condo is real property. So you're actually getting a deed at the closing and you pay property taxes to the municipality, and you also pay common charges or maintenance fees to help that building run on a day-to-day basis. Some of the pros of a condo, they do not require as much money down as a co-op. So you'll see most condos allow in New York City as little as 10% down, some of them as little as 5%. And outside of the city, you may even be able to use the FHA program. You may even be able to put as little as 3% down on condos. Outside of the city, you're gonna be able to use all of the various bank programs that allow as little as 0 to 3 to 5% down. So condos are super flexible, but with that flexibility, you're gonna notice they have higher closing costs. Our friends at New York State love to charge taxes. All of you that get a paycheck every week or every month, you're probably like, ugh, more taxes. We don't like it. Well, when you're buying a condo, you have to pay an important tax called a mortgage recording tax. And in the 5 boroughs of New York City, you're gonna notice that mortgage recording tax is approximately 1.925% of your loan amount. And outside of the city, you're paying about 1% of the mortgage amount to our friends at New York State. So now let's flip the coin and go to co-op. If you're buying a co-op, you're buying shares in a corporation that are tied to an individual unit. So if you think about it, in order to gain access to those shares, you have to pass through a board of directors. We call it a co-op board. Now, a lot of you that are like, oh my God, Madonna got declined by a board. Honey, you ain't Madonna, okay? You don't have paparazzi sitting outside of the building. So do not be afraid of co-ops. Actually, 70% of what trades in Manhattan by itself are co-ops. And trust me, we're experts at getting people through the co-op board process. They care a lot more about your finances than even the bank. They're more conservative than us. So on a co-op, one, they're gonna require more down payment than the banks. You're gonna notice they want anywhere from 10, 15, and in a lot of cases, 20% down. In addition, the co-op is going to wanna see that you earn a substantial more than what you need to qualify for a bank. So we have this term, and I'm gonna teach this in multiple parts of this series. There's a term called a debt to income ratio. Basically, how much you spend a month between your mortgage, maintenance, and insurance, and anything else that appears on credit, divided by your current income. And it's looking at your gross income if you're W-2'd. So that debt divided by your income, most co-ops generally want you to be at 25 to 30%, where most banks are gonna be pretty flexible, anywhere from 38, and some of them go all the way up to 50% of expenses for the DTI. Then when it comes to the down payment, like I said, you want 10 to 20% down. Most buildings want 20%. But the co-op boards, in order to pass their restrictions, they also want to see that you have anywhere from 1 to 2 years of your monthly housing payment left over in a reserve account. Now, what is a reserve account? It can be looked at as either checking, savings, stocks, or bonds. They will not use 401k or retirement accounts if you are not of retirement age. So we have to have not only more down payment for a co-op, we have to show that we're not going to spend more than 30% of our income for the debt to income ratio, and we have to show post-closing reserves or rainy day fund in order to pass that co-op board. And then finally, co-ops are going to have more restrictions on renting out the apartment. So if you are one of those people that your company is based in California and you may end up getting relocated next year or the year after, and you're going to want to rent out your apartment, co-ops may not be the best fit because they have general restrictions for renting out your place. Most of the times it's you have to live there for 2 years before you can rent out your apartment. Now, there's a huge benefit to co-op. There tends to be higher owner occupancy in the building. And on top of that, the closing costs, since you're buying shares in a corporation, you don't pay mortgage recording tax. So you're gonna see that your closing costs are a lot less expensive. So pros for a condo, a lot more flexible, a little less money down, whatever the bank approves you for, you're good. On a co-op, we have a higher owner occupancy, a bigger sense of community, lower closing cost, and more importantly, a lot of what trades in New York City, you're gonna see are co-ops. Hopefully that helps. Definitely shoot me a comment or reach out if you have any other questions. All right, so that was a lot to cover in one video, bringing the coffee back. So let's recap. Condo, more flexible, higher closing costs, but we can rent it out if we need to. Co-op, more of them, lower closing costs, but we wanna be a little bit more financially conservative if we're going after one of those. you definitely want to reach out to one of your mortgage professionals and your real estate agent to cover the differences of both. And if you have any other questions, make sure you comment and come on, give me a like. See you soon.